very much. And to our wonderful host, Baki, thank you all very much. And everybody, this one's for you. North Lincoln Ave. This one's for you. It's one of it.
It's vodka, really.
It's, yeah, this is how I fool everyone. I fill it with vodka. And then he doesn't, and then he gets really pissed because I'm not spending it on the vodka.
When you're exercising.
No, hello, and I'm really looking forward to our feature this evening because he happens to be an editor, which I seldom actually submit stuff to other magazines, and I'm like, I'm going to send stuff to you because you're awesome. And it's really cool. No! Happy Handshake. And I was so double plus excited some woman has this shirt on. This is Happy Handshake and it's a cool style. And I'm like, hey, you've got an awesome. Yay! I don't even have a shirt for Scars Publications. But if I had to have something to read from, I figured I would read from a book that has just been recently, after previously being released as an ISSN number book, is now released as an ISBN number book, called A Wake-Up Call from Tradition. That's a collection of poems of mine that have appeared in past issues of cc&d magazine, and this is actually like volume, I don't know, 89 or something. It's just a cool cover, and I said, that's awesome, I'm going to take that. So I'm trying to find something that nobody has read before or heard before, so I've got a couple pieces here. This one, you will have no idea that I wrote it, is called Getaway. His wife told him that he had to go on vacation, that he was trying to do too much at work, and it was just taking a toll on him. And he was letting Wall Street put too much stress on him, and he was neglecting his family, and he probably just needed to take a break. Besides, he had all this time coming to him from work, and he actually deserved it. So the two of them went off on a little vacation to a little island where there was nothing to do. There was no televisions, there were no telephones, there was no civilization. The perfect getaway from the hustle and bustle of everyday life, the brochure said. And it was. They sat on the beach, just a few feet away from the Art Door bar where they got their margaritas from. It was quiet. His wife glowed in the light of the setting sun. He thought of Wall Street and the work that he had to do. He thought of what he had to put off, actually, just to be able to go on this vacation. What about the Erickson account? Will the other clients notice that he's gone? Or will the company be able to get along without him? Probably not, and he had to sit there without telephones or even fax machines. There he sat, turning his head, looking for signs of life as he knew it. He barely spoke to his wife the entire time they were on vacation. He couldn't think of anything else to actually say. All he could think of was work and all the problems that would be probably arising there because he was absent. Then, finally, they left the resort. He woke up the next morning in his own bed, which was too hard, and he began to wonder if the past week was all just a dream. He quickly got dressed, poured a cup of coffee into his car mug, tucked his briefcase under his arm, and off he went for work. He got to work early. He found stacks of paper on the desk and a pile of messages on little pink slips of paper. His phone was all ready, even though it was early, ringing off the hook. His secretary walked in 10 minutes later. "Sorry about all the work, sir," she said. "That's what I get for going on vacation," he replied. "Are you glad to be back?" she said sarcastically. "Yes, I am," he said with a sigh. And he's like, "Did you actually write that?" I'm like, "I know. It's things that aren't like me." But you try to look for things that are different. This is a short one, and although it doesn't relate to me, I suppose it does. This story is from a one-time police officer. This is a poem called "Couldn't Take It Home." I went out deer hunting once with some buddies of mine. Now, I'm not a big fan of deer meat, but I went for the sport. I'm a pretty good shot. And so I saw, when I went over a small wooded hill at a small lake amongst the trees, right at the edge of the water, there was a deer. So there was my chance. I pulled out my shotgun, aimed, pulled the trigger. Direct hit. It was still moving, so I walked toward the deer. I hit the spinal cord, and the back half of the deer was paralyzed. The thing was dragging itself with its front legs, trying to crawl away. I knew it was in pain. I looked at the deer. I pulled out my .22 pistol and shot it in the head, and left it there. I couldn't take it home. My buddies asked me why I left it there. Everything felt wrong. I told them I didn't want anything to do with it. Leave it there. Leave it. On a happier note, really, it's on a happier note, really. But no, I don't seem to believe in happier notes. But this is volume 2 of a collection of writings of mine from cc&d, because I would have stuff in issues if I had issues from how I did performance art shows. That would be an issue. So I have a lot of stuff. So this was from a series I did, I believe, about working at the ice cream parlor. What do you say? Somebody broke their head on the plush horse. Yeah, the plush horse. And this was a story from it. And this is called, this is the last one, this is called His Mom's Car. There was this kid who started working at the plush horse. He was this fat little geek, thick glasses and everything, and most of the guys who worked there were older and not so awkward. Well, one of them, Matt, decided to make it his personal goal to make fun of this kid whenever he could. God, I can't even remember the kid's name. Something like Mark or something, but I really can't remember. I guess it doesn't matter. But this Matt guy really didn't like him, and no one did. But I felt kind of sorry for the kid because Matt was just so mean to him. I figured, okay, he's a geek, he's picked on enough, but this is really just isn't necessary. Well, one day, the kid came into the plush horse, and he wasn't working that day, and I saw him come in, and he looked really mad, like I'd never seen him like this mad before. So I asked him while he's walking by toward the ice cream counter, I asked, "Why are you so mad?" And he says that someone keyed his car, messed up the paint job and everything. And the worst thing was that it was his mother's car. And he walks to the ice cream counter and starts talking to Matt, and I can't hear what they're saying, so I'm minding my own business, and the next thing I know, I hear this kid yell right in the middle of the ice cream shop. He yells, "Fuck you," to Matt, and he starts walking away. And Matt says, "Yeah, that's what I wrote on your car." And I remember looking at Matt actually with such disgust when he said that. I mean, when this kid left, I told him that what he had just done, he just went actually too far. And so then 2 weeks later, I decided I went to the grocery store with Lisa, and I bought a bottle of cheap dishwashing liquid called Pink Lady, and we went to the parking lot of the plush horse while Matt was working, and we just squirted Pink Lady all over Matt's windshield. We figured that he'd use dishwasher, the washer fluid to wipe it away, and it would just make a big soapy mess, but at least there was no permanent damage. And the worst thing was that it was his mother's car. Thank you. A number of years, a number of nifty pieces. I believe this was written after I would hallucinate, I believe, after I'd almost died, that a man that I had dated had died, and I would imagine seeing them and wanting them to be around. And so I had written this thing called All the Things That I Like Are the Things That I Like. what I think I like the most about you are the little details about you that I cannot remember. Maybe we never shared any of these moments together. Maybe I just need to think of these moments with you that we never really shared. I have only seen you remotely. I've never known how to approach you. I've always thought that I didn't want to act conspicuous. But I have to admit, what I have seen of you, I have to admit that I like it. And there are parts of you that are, quirky, but I think I like that too. And the things about you that most people don't like, those are the things that I actually like. I have seen how you care, how much you care about your work, and how you think about a lot of things, and how your quirks are a part of that large, strange package, and I will take it. I like your height and your physique, and I like how your intellect, how intelligent you are, and I like the fact that you're partially colorblind, because that makes me think that there's some things about you that are not perfect, because then you have actually the option to be able to say that you're human. I like to think that you are human. I would like to think that you are real, because I know that I am real, and this would be my link to you. This could be something that would help me prove in my own head that I am not the only one, and that there's someone out there that's like me too. I'm going to close this evening because I am the editor of cc&d magazine, and the January 2011 issue happens to have a poem of mine in that also was previously accepted for publication from Heavy Hands, Inc., which is the press that Maxwell Baumbeck is the editor of. So I have to do that little thing. That was my little quasi-praise thing, because I'm not reading his stuff yet. So I'm stunned that you like this piece. But awesome. That was awesome. This is called Thinking. I hate that. I think of the reasons why I'm doing this. I think the reason why I'm doing this is actually because I'm lonely. I'm sorry. I'm rationalizing. I look over and see the bartender's yellow bracelet, and I imagine having a conversation, and I ask him if there's a cancer story, and he says no. And he asks me about my blue bracelet, which happens to have ALS written right at the top of it for everyone to see. And I have stories with my cancer bracelet that I'm not even wearing, which I won't get into. And I think about the cancer, and he asks me about the ALS, and I start thinking, I hate that. Sorry. Thank you. You get all sorts of stories of bad things that happen, and it just goes. That's what happens.